Hello, welcome to The Revealing. I am once again your host, Pavarotti. I'm here to discuss the Idaho 4 case. As a disclaimer, this channel is for entertainment purposes. These are my opinions, not here to slander anyone. So with that being said, let's get started. Now maybe that video clip I showed at the beginning here was in poor taste. However, since the alibi statement came out from Mr. Kohberger's defense team, it is astonishing what it has done to the Idaho 4 community. Most notably, I can see that in my comment posts on my videos. And I tell you, I'm going to have to be careful at the end of my videos going forward when I say post your criticisms, because wow, since the alibi statement, the criticisms have really been flying. But I can appreciate everybody's emotions on this subject. From the beginning, and for those of you that have been with me from the beginning, just know that there is nothing in my mindset about what I've discussed up to this point that has actually changed. The only thing I may be guilty of is dumbing down my content here, for the last month or so, and I've had to do that for serious reasons, so just know that. But when we talk about the emotions in this case, it is clear both sides are really dividing the lines now. But I maintain that since the beginning, those of you that have been with me since the beginning can attest to this, I have no skin in the game whether Mr. Kohberger is innocent or guilty. I truly want justice in this case. However, the only reason that I am on here discussing this case is not is Kohberger guilty or innocent, it's stop hiding everything from the public, make the real facts of the case known to the public so that they know this is America. Everybody's supposed to know, freedom of information. But you got to understand, when the university gets involved and the town leaders get involved in a town like Moscow, Idaho, where the college rules everything and the revenue from the college fuels everything. I mean, you had the president of the college sitting in with meetings with the investigation on a daily basis. And if you don't think that at least affect the narrative of what's going on in this case, then you're fooling yourself. So let's talk about that probable cause affidavit for just a minute. You read through the probable cause affidavit, you don't see anything in there about an IGG investigation, do you? Nowhere. However, that was front and center for a lot of this time that we've been waiting to hear the real information on this case. I mean, even the judge and prosecutor and the defense attorney have been arguing about the IGG information. It was never in the PCA. They just finally admitted in court a couple of weeks ago, if not even that long ago, that stalking wasn't involved in this case. It clearly implied stalking in the PCA. So what the heck is really going on, folks? Let's watch a video. I wanted to do a reaction to Jules of the Trades, and I think Jules does a fantastic job on her channel, and I think all of her content comes from her heart. I mean, I believe she truly believes in what she's saying. So I want to play a clip, and I believe this is how almost all of the Idaho 4 community, especially the ones that want Kohberger to be innocent, I believe this is how they all feel. So let's take a listen to this, and then let's discuss.
Going on in cases where we aren't looking at things. How much of this happens under the radar because no one can pay attention to everything happening at one time? Almost $4 million. And now we have an alibi of this man who has literally never done anything but put bad guys away is now going to prove that this man is actually innocent. I cannot wait for that expert witness testimony. Are they going to make us wait till trial? See, here's a question for me. If this can be proven, then why can't the data just be proven and it be brought in front of a judge and like they just let him go if that's the case? Why does it have to wait at this point? See, that's when like there's things about this justice system that just doesn't make any sense to me. Why there can't be like certain stipulations and certain things changed? Because if he really truly is innocent and this man has the data and the proof, or can have the data and the proof, why can't you just go do it now? What is
Right? I mean, I would think that would be the mindset of everybody. If what the defense just put out would truly prove the case, why don't they just dismiss it? Let's get this thing over, get that guy out of there, go find the real people. If that was even plausible, I believe they would have got that. I mean, Mr. Kohberger would have known that that information could be verified with his education and field of study. He probably knows that technology better than anybody. He could have suggested, get an expert, look at that information so that you can get me out of here a year ago. Didn't happen though, did it? And here's why it didn't happen. And here's why they're not just gonna do a My Cousin Vinny and wow, the tire tracks don't match, and you know what, in lieu of the evidence, judge, the prosecution wants to dismiss all charges. Because that is a fairy tale, that is a movie, okay? And a lot of what you're watching in this case seems like a movie as well. But why? Why, if that expert can verify his whereabouts, why would they not just say, well, the heck with it. If that's true, let's just dismiss this case. Because folks, this case is not bearing on the data of his phone. In fact, this case has almost no bearing, as we've learned. You know, some of us have known this for a long time, but as we've learned in the court hearings in the last couple of weeks, this case has no bearing on the PCA whatsoever. And let's think about it for just a second, okay? If the PCA was enough to gain an arrest of Mr. Kohberger, the PCA should have been enough to present in a preliminary hearing to put Mr. Kohberger on trial. That didn't happen though, did it? No, instead of having a preliminary hearing, trying to show the evidence that's in the PCA, which shouldn't have been very hard to show, instead they enacted a secret grand jury to hear other information to secure the indictment of Mr. Kohberger. You got to stop and think, why would they do that? If the PCA was true and the information in there was accurate, it should have been easily presented, and that would have easily won them at least an indictment. They didn't go that route. They went a completely different route. Why is that? If you stop and think about it, because of that town and college's influence in the investigation, you can bet that that probable cause affidavit was used simply just to secure the arrest of Mr. Kohberger. Everything else that's transpired since that arrest, whole different ballgame. In January, immediately, non-dissemination order, gag orders, redactions, hide everything. Folks, this case is not going to be tried on the facts that you've been made aware of by the state at this point. In fact, let's look at just a simple reply to defense's motion for discovery that was sent long ago about what the state will not disclose to the defense in discovery. Okay, that was out of the prosecution's response to defense's request for discovery in the original request for discovery. Let's take a quick look here at what we just looked at. To the extent that information exists regarding an informant who is not going to be produced as a witness, including recordings or written statements of an informant, or that identify an informant, such informant is not subject to disclosure. The state asserts informant privilege, ICR 16G-2. So the informants in this case, the prosecution will not even disclose to the defense what information they actually have. So the defense is even kept in the dark on that one. In theory, in reality, the defense knows everything the informants are saying because the defense defends the informants in their cases, all of them. But again, that's just speculation on Pavarotti. Now, when you see Steve G be so adamant about wanting to get to trial and the guilt of Mr. Kohberger, a lot of people think, well, like I just heard in that video that he's, oh no, it wasn't that video, it was a video I watched earlier of somebody else. You know, somebody else is passionate. They're passionate about Kohberger being guilty for the wrong reasons. So, but they were talking about Steve G and how he has put out a lot of misinformation. He may be the source of all the misinformation that's put out there in this case, but he did it because he wanted to get information, and it was a whole bunch of stuff, but basically blaming, you know, the father in this case for putting out all the false information about this case. I'm just speculating here, but I'm willing to bet that Mr. Goncalves, Steve G, his family, I'm willing to bet that they're close enough to the people in that town and that prosecution to have inside knowledge on this case. And it's not the knowledge that's being put out there, but I'm willing to bet he has inside knowledge on what this case is really about. And that's why he keeps getting frustrated, why it won't just go to trial. He knows a lot more than you think he does, I assure you. But the reason I wanted to do this video is I'm not trying to hurt the feelings of everybody out there that's, you know, doing backflips over the defense producing an alibi statement. I'm not even going to get into that one any further. But I do want to let you know that I'm going to have my next revealing video on Sunday. And then we're going to start getting into the timeline of the investigation. And I'm going to show you what this case is really about, because we're going to go through and start unpacking some of those informants when they were picked up, what law enforcement learned when they were picked up, and I'll just leave it at that. But that one's coming to you on Sunday. And I just got to leave you with this, folks. Now, I'm not going to say too much in this one. So please like and subscribe to the channel. Post your comments. Be very careful saying this one, Pavarotti. Post your criticisms. I do enjoy reading all of your thoughts. And with that being said, Pavarotti's out.